Okay, greetings, dear Taurus. That's you. This is Tarot Lumination. This is a mini playlist for late April. I'm calling it What Now? Okay, it's focusing on the full moon. And the reason why I'm doing that is because when I've been looking at the charts for the month, April's very active in some ways, but it's also quite gentle compared to what we were dealing with in March. But we still have some major weather alerts, and I'm looking at it as the full moon. There's a ton of other stuff going on. We've got the retrogrades and everything, and I'll mention that, but I'm not going to analyze that here in this playlist, okay? Here's the basic information. It's just data, okay? April 11th, Jupiter goes retrograde in Sagittarius. That's for everybody, okay? April 19th, we have the full moon in Libra against the Aries sun, and this is at 29 degrees, so it's critical. It's like maximum pressure. It's like everything that can go wrong will go wrong, but it just has to be faced up to, because this is the last chance for another, whatever it is, year or so. Next, within hours, April 20th, the sun enters Taurus. Mercury's already in Aries. Venus is entering Aries. So that's a big shift of energy right there. Okay? It's like having two waves simultaneously. April 25th, Pluto goes retrograde in Capricorn. April 30th, Saturn goes retrograde in Capricorn. Mars is in Gemini all month. Okay, I'm going to look at the chart here. It's very stripped down. It's a very elementary Tarot Lumination Astro Doodle. This is it for everybody. Okay, I'm just going to show you this thing here. So these are the sun signs that go around here like this. All right. And this is the world axis here, Aries at the 0 point on the horizon. But we're going to switch it for you, Taurus, in just a moment. This is the thing that I'm talking about. Okay. It's combustible, it's volatile, it is a full moon, so by definition, it's going to involve our relationship dynamics. Wherever this sits in anybody's chart, the relationship dynamics for that part of your life will be exposed, illuminated, brought to light, so that we can see what we need to see, so that we can learn what we need to learn. So it's in a stressful alignment, okay? If you look at the Libra Aries axis here, there it is, okay? April 20th, moon 29 degrees in Libra, opposing the sun 29 degrees in Libra. Hours later, the moon is over here in Scorpio, opposing the sun in Taurus, okay? And Uranus in Taurus. So that's a lot of combustibility right there. The 29 degree mark is volatile. It's very difficult energy to handle. So add it all up, okay? That's why I'm highlighting it with red. Now, this red axis here is in a loose T-square with all the Capricorn energy up here. Okay, Pluto and Saturn, okay, in tight alignment there. And it's in a hard square with this. So it's putting the relationship dynamic under alert for everyone. It's almost like whatever's going on with you, Taurus, in the world of love and relationships in general, it's like the cops are watching. The security police, the laws of transformation police, they're watching you because they want to make sure that you do evolve, grow, and adapt and blossom, okay? They don't want you to stagnate in an evolutionary retrograde tide pool. So what we're hoping is that all this works for you, no matter how, no matter what is exposed here. So let's have a look. Let's flip it over to Taurus. So it looks like this. So you can see, Taurus, it's right on the axis. You get this full moon here. You get this pseudo full moon right here. So relationships will be very significant right now. A lot will come to light. How do you feel about others? How do others feel about you? How are you seen and perceived by others? How do others see and perceive you? And what are you going to do about that? Now, with the Capricorn energy here, it's very harmonious for you. It's up in your 9th house. It's been there for a long time. The pressure is increasing regarding like foreigners, foreign relationships, foreign lands, expanding horizons above and beyond your existing parameters of life and world. You know how you can get very fixed on the way things should be and stability and security in your world. Well, this is putting a lot of pressure, hopefully in a good way for you, to expand your horizons, because you're expanding horizons are going to change your life and world basically forever. It's a long, slow process, but you're dealing with it, and you might just feel that vibe here, okay, around April 20th. Okay, there's the date, okay, April 20th right there. So let's get to it. This is just a mini report. I'm just focusing really on the full moon and the energy around it. And we're using the tarot. I'm not going to go into the astrology hardly at all, except for what we talked about. I want to get to the heart core of things, okay? So you know the drill already, Taurus. Watch for your sun, moon, and rising, especially if each one is different. Then reinterpret as you need to for yourselves. Make it all about you. I'm just providing a storyline here. I am an instrument of an instrument, okay? So that's kind of how it is. I'm going to use the situational spread because it's like a sniper bullet. We just get straight to the point, no messing around. No jumpers, no flyers, no oracles, no reversals. Also, please cross-watch if you need to for significant others. It might help. Also, please invite your invisible friends. It really, really helps to expand the understanding of what we do here, okay? That's what Tarot Lumination does, work as a team, all right? All right, cards are well shuffled. Now we're going to cut it up. Bless the deck. Bless every single card. Bless you, Taurus, for being here. Bless Tarot Lumination and the whole channel that we can even do this at all. Love doing this for you, with you guys. Here is the situation, okay? Here is the challenge with all of this, and here's how we're going to handle it. And let's have a look at the weather. You can think of that as the planets if you want. I think of it as environmental influences, how you perceive your existing world, the circumstances around you, the people, the places, the activities, what you do and how you do it, and the influence as well with the planets. It all adds up to what I call weather. So you have the Five of Swords here. So my feeling is that you're under pressure to grow, evolve, adapt, and blossom. And that presents a problem to others, okay? Because it's like, why should you apologize for your own evolution, your own growth, your own adaptation, and your own blossoming? There's no conflict necessary here. Going into conflict to try and prove something or to fix something that can't be fixed is basically a waste of energy. It's a waste of your energy. It's a waste of their energy. So sometimes I think of this as the energy of futile conflict. In other words, it would be very easy to get sucked into irreconcilable situations, relationship dynamics, understandings, communications that really, it's like a lose-lose thing. So my suggestion here is be very aware of that. Be extremely aware, especially when we get up to the full moon and the days after, and that, like the hangover effect, that it's not your problem, okay? If other people have a problem with you coming into your own dominion and you doing what you have to do to be yourself, that is their problem. It's not your problem. Sometimes you know how people feel ashamed to win. They don't want to win because they're embarrassed about the losses and failings of others. Not all people are like that. A lot of people love to win. They don't care about the losses and failings of others. They gloat on the failings of others. But for you, Taurus, it might be very sad or heartbreaking to consider that, you know, your mission to be you, your right to be you, your right to have your own thoughts and expanding world is your right to have that. And if you're ashamed, and then, so what I'm feeling here is that you might yourself be feeling awkward or ashamed or embarrassed about your own potential for success and happiness here. And that's not allowed, okay? With this energy here, it's very, very important that you reserve the right to be you. You reserve the right to prevail, and then let others figure out what they have to figure out. I call them SEPs, someone else's problem. Whatever they can't handle, whatever they experience as a loss, that's their problem. It's not your problem, okay? Let's have a look. Well, what's the situation here? Okay, with the King of Pentacles, my feeling is that You are getting a real glimpse of what it's like to be you, Taurus, in ways that you might not have had for a long time. And it's just like, oh, yes, finally. It's almost like, wow, I am truly learning how to manifest. And that, if you, Taurus, have been carrying the energy of kindness and consideration and respect to others in the world of profound, important relationships, and that's being taken too far, then the chances are you might come to realize that at this full moon. And then when you realize it and you realize, oh my God, as embarrassing and as awkward as it is, Tarot Lumination called it out, and it's just like, oh my God, it's true. Oh dear, oh, that's a problem. And then, because it's a problem, you might just want to thwart yourself or dumb yourself down or diminish yourself in order for this not to be a problem. So you don't have to deal with the suffering of others, okay? Because of your own evolution and growth and adaptation and blossoming. And so when you come to that shocking realization and you realize, wait a minute, I do have a right to my own dominion and my own resources coming into my own power and create my own world. And I have the faculties to do that. I am a Taurus, first of all. So it's almost my mission to be this way, to gather my resources, to come into my power, to have my own, to have my own world, so to speak, that I have created, bootstrapped from the ground up, out of nothing. And look where I am now. I think this needs to be known. I think this is about you looking in the mirror, Taurus, and realizing you have to see yourself as this. And do not apologize for this, okay? Okay? A lot of people can't handle their own light. They dim their own light down because they're ashamed of becoming shinier and brighter and more, let's say, respected, renowned, capable, competent than their companions, than their peers, okay? And that's a problem, especially if you live in an environment where if you are seen to ascend and grow and expand and grow and evolve, and then the herd mentality kicks in and they crush you so that you don't show them up. That's what I think is what we're dealing with here as well. So in other words, it's very important to stay in your integrity. And as you evolve and grow and shine, as that's happening to you, as your horizons are expanding in very profound transformational ways that are beneficial for you, if that's a problem for other people, that is their problem. SEPs, someone else's problem. It's not yours, okay? And what's the challenge here? Okay, to me it looks like you're actually really scared to call out the truth of this. You don't want to do it. You wish you didn't have to do it. And so to me, it looks like there's a strong, like a feeling like I have to dumb myself down. I can't possibly be the whistleblower. I cannot call out the truth and the realities of the situation. I'm so scared of calling it out because I don't want to be excommunicated. I don't want to be rejected by my peers. I don't want to be seen by others as a winning, as achieving and dominating and proving myself to myself, for my own sake, because then it shows others up. And so there's a real stress here, a real challenge here to bury this, to bury the truth calling, the calling out of the truth, in order that you don't have to deal with the disparity that happens when you grow and evolve and adapt, like above and beyond your existing horizons. Okay? So I can understand the fear here. Let's have a look. How are we going to deal with this? Because it's almost like the energy is pitted against the self. So let me go back to this doodle just a second. I just realized that too. Here, because, okay, we're going to put this on the horizon. You might be feeling it in the Aries Libra axis as you build up to it into the health of the relationship. And then when you get into the Scorpio new moon, Scorpio moon over here opposing it, then you get the stark awakening of what's actually going on, because you're getting the very first glimpses of reflection from the Scorpio moon for those few days after the 20th. Like maybe the 21st and 22nd, 23rd will be a serious eye-opener for you, Taurus. So please keep that in mind, all right? So how are we going to deal with that? In other words, revelations. Okay. Okay, this to me requires being very discriminating, being very pure, very, very authentic to yourself. This is the Queen of Swords. So my feeling here, the way to deal with it is to like do the thing that you don't want to do. Basically, say enough is enough. And I'm sorry, everyone who can't handle me becoming me. But the only way that I can evolve is to be honest and be in my integrity and to be myself. And if I have to, I will call out the truth as it has to be called out. And I will allow myself to discriminate between what is acceptable for me and what is not acceptable for me. And I will issue a decree accordingly. And if you can't handle that decree, then that is your problem. I'm sorry. This is the truth. This is the reality of how things are. And I am duty bound to live in my truth. That's what I'm going to do. Anything less than that is unacceptable. And then here's this is probably the hardest part of all, not apologizing for this. Okay? It would be such an incredibly powerful urge and temptation to apologize for your own adaptation and growth and evolution and not call it out. But that's an act of self-destruction. That's the exact opposite of love thyself. That is the absence of love. That's the withdrawing of love from self, which is ultimately the worst thing you can do, not only for yourself, but your loved ones, okay? So this is actually quite a high pressure reading, the way I'm feeling it. All right, Taurus. Remember, you're coming into your power very soon. We'll get to that in May. This is, this is sort of happening in your 12th and 6th house areas right here, and we're crossing that cusp mark onto the 1st and 7th house. But it is a very, very like narrow bridge that we're talking about here. So I hope this reading helps you in some way. If you need to, get back to me and we'll figure things out. I'm not going to say anything more. You can reinterpret however you want. Bless you, Taurus. Thank you for being here. And I love all the subscribes. The more, the merrier. The likes, the comments. I love the comments. I love to read them. It helps me a lot. And then I reply to as many as I can. Also, membership really, really helps as well. Please check out the links below. And if you've got time, please study that video about subscriber notifications. It's far more complicated than I ever knew. And I'm only just learning about it. And it's very important that I pass that information on to you guys. Okay? All the best, Taurus. You're going to be okay. All right? Thank you so much for being here. Bless you all. Bye-bye.